Well, praise God. What an amazing opportunity that we have here in the streets of our city, Calgary, to be able to come and share what God is putting on our hearts. Well, of course, we know what happened yesterday in our beloved city, in our hometown. The mayor with the councillors, they just passed unconstitutional law, pretty much muzzling people in public spaces. So I thought, well, let me read what they had to say, and then I'll give you my take on what's really happening, because I think people all around the world are confused. They don't really know what's happening, what is going on. I mean, in certain parts you have to wear a mask, then just next to something you don't have to wear a mask, and here they're saying it helps, the doctors are saying it does not. People are confused, they don't really know what's going on, so I'll try to answer a few of those questions today. But let's go back to the story. City Council approves mandatory masks in indoor public spaces. This is just after the announcement of the Premier that said in September, all the kids, I don't know, 100,000, 160,000 kids can go back to school not wearing masks. I mean, that's the first thing. It just doesn't make any sense what's going on. So the Premier is saying he's opening the schools. The mayor and the councillors are saying, but indoor places will muzzle everyone and it will be punishable by law. So let me read it. The new rules will be in place starting August 1st. I'm reading from Calgary Sun, but I mean, the propaganda in this country, it doesn't matter which paper you're going to pick it up. It's all the same garbage. It's the same narration. It's the same writers, either Calgary Herald or Calgary Sun or CTV or Global CTV. I mean, it's all the same communist propaganda right now in the city of Calgary, in this country, in this province. So it doesn't matter which paper, toilet paper, you're going to pick it up. It doesn't matter what it's called. Well, I'm picking toilet paper that is called Calgary Sun, and this is what it says. The new rules will be in place starting August 1st, but additional changes to the bylaw will be considered at the council meeting next week. Calgary City Council agreed to mandate face coverings across the city's public indoor spaces and on public transit to stop, in quote, to stop the spread of COVID-19. For the past few months, that's the only thing you hear. Fear, fear, fear. You're going to die. We are going to die. It's the end of the world. COVID, COVID, COVID. And from time to time will be COVID-19. Everywhere you turn, everywhere you look. That's exactly what totalitarian governments are doing. They need to scare the people. So that's the first step. They need to scare you. If they can manage that, if they can achieve that, well, the next step is very easy. So they're saying they're going to muzzle you with the masks that doctors are saying do not work, but you have to wear them anyway because they say so, starting August 1st. The 12-3 vote to approve the new bylaw comes amid rising positive COVID-19 tests in Alberta, with 141 new confirmed Tuesday. If you know anything about influenza, if you know anything about the flu, it's happening every year. It will happen until Jesus comes back. It's a flu. Virus comes and virus goes. That's why people are being vaccinated every single year. I'll tell you more. Every single year, there is tens of thousands of people that are getting the virus, and some of them are ending up in hospitals, on ventilators and other places. I'll ask you to Google this for yourself. Don't believe me. You don't have to trust me. Just go to the government website and Google it up. Tens of thousands of cases every single year, and some people are dying from it, about 100 every year. In the United States of America, about 60,000 people are dying because of the seasonal flu. I have to admit that this one has a little bit bigger kick, but it's still coronavirus. We had coronavirus before. We will have in 100 years. This is just how it is. Muzzling people, it's not going to fix the problem. the virus still stays, and it will show up in this form or another form the next flu season. So then they are saying there are currently nearly 600 active cases in the Calgary zone. Wow, be afraid. 600, it's a big number, right? According to them, that means you're next. And if you don't put that stupid thing that doesn't work on your face, when you are going to be next, and you're going to die for sure. I mean, there is no hope for you if you don't put the mask. Right now, I'm looking at the man that is sitting alone in a car with the mask on. I mean, it's pathetic, it's ridiculous. Why? Is he going to protect himself from himself? I mean, it doesn't make any sense, because that's the plan. You may say, well, what are you talking about? That's the plan. It doesn't make any sense, and it does not supposed to make any sense. The plan is to submit the population, is to force you into submission. Then they're continuing about the temporary rules which will be in place August the 1st. Face coverings are going to be required in any indoor spaces that the public has access to, with some exceptions. Retail stores, shopping malls, recreational centers. Imagine going to a swimming pool with a stupid mask on. I mean, it's unbelievable. If this was a comedy show, I would say it's hilarious. Actually, it's funny. When you see people swimming with a face covering, or when they're jogging alone in a park with a covering. I mean, they're doing more damage to their health than if they would just sit at home and eat chips. But that's another story. Tweaks to the bylaw will be considered at the council meeting next week. So they're going to tune everything back and forth and to find out how and what and when, how severe it's going to be, what they're going to do with those that will refuse to comply, etc. Calgary Emergency Management Agency Chief Tom Sampson told council it's time to move as the city sees a surge of COVID-19 cases. He said he believes a second wave of the new coronavirus has arrived in Calgary. Listen to me. At the very beginning of this show, this pandemic, this lie, this mockery, I said they're going to bring the second wave. It has to. It has to. Because a country like Canada, Canadians are too used to freedom. Americans are too used to their freedoms, so they have to do it gradually. It cannot just be, okay, we have a communist socialism, it's Marxism from one day to another. They have to implement this day by day, case by case. So first, they need to scare the population. They need to scare the big number of the population so they will willfully submit to the new rules. Of course, all of that is being done for your safety. You're losing your rights for your safety. Your constitutional fundamental rights are being taken away from you, turning you into a slave for your own safety. Across Alberta, 172 people have died as a result of the COVID-19. Do you know that statistically speaking, more people so far has died because of other medical conditions that the doctors did not attend to than the 172 cases? Do you know that? Do you know that people are dying because the medical profession refuses to fix them? There are suicides on top of that. Hundreds of people committed suicide because of economy. 45% of the businesses shut down because of 172 people that had the flu and died. I mean, every death is a horrible thing. Don't get me wrong, but people do die every single year. I work with the homeless people. Every single week, 2 homeless people are dying every week. Year by year, month by month. I'm doing this for 20 years. 2 a week. You will never see them again. I don't see the city of Calgary shutting down the whole economy because the homeless are perishing. But yet, they've done it. We kicked our own butts. The expert, in quote, this liar manipulator, is continuing. For what did or did not happen early in the game? You see, they're regretting that they did not push harder at that time. They did not turn you into slaves at the beginning in March and in April. Now they're kicking their butts. They're saying, oops, we made a mistake. We should turn the whole society into a communist, socialistic, Marxist China, but we didn't do it. Oops, our mistake. We will try to fix this. Other councillors, just few of them, they said that this infringes on businesses and our rights, and they're rightly so. But majority of so-called councillors and the mayor actually were pushing this socialistic change on the society. Peter Dimon, I'm very disappointed with this devil because he claimed to be a conservative Christian that turned into being a wolf. He said he doesn't want to see businesses shut their doors because of even more economic disruption over the new coronavirus. Nobody wants to be wearing a mask, myself included, but if that is what it takes to make sure any business can survive, I am more than willing to do it. Shame. Yes, shame on them. Okay, so if you don't wear a mask in public, that does not work, by the way. The masks that are coming from China, I mean, think about it. Why would you put a mask on your face that came from China? I mean, let me pause here for a second. Are the society that stupid, that brainwashed, that will not put two dots together? And the government says we're bringing millions of masks from where? From the very place that brought you the virus in the first place, and you're not questioning that. And all the medical staff, the swabs and everything is coming straight from the place that infected you in the first place. And you're not questioning that. The masks are coming from China for a purpose. For a purpose. Think. So the bylaw comes with a $100 fine, which I will gladly take, if needs be, to challenge this unconstitutional bylaw in the court system. And then the businesses will be penalized $200. So let me stop here for a second. I find this very fascinating because so far we were threatened with tens of thousands of dollars, millions of dollars if we don't comply. So let me put the dots together for you. I think this whole bylaw is a sham. It's a joke. It's not a serious bylaw. Because if this was a serious bylaw, the penalty will be at least $10,000 and the fear will continue. The fear would continue. They placed this bylaw, I will tell you why. So $200 for businesses, $100 for the people. And they say that just passing this bylaw, it will increase 60% of compliance from the public. And I actually believe them because people are really so stupid in this country. They have been subjected to a brainwashing for so long that they will actually believe what the government is telling them without checking the facts, without actually questioning why we are to do this. No, they will not question that. They will just put a mask from China on their faces without questioning the government. Those masks that are coming from China, they are being made by slave labor. They're being manufactured by slave labor of Christians and Muslims in China. You know that? It's a fact. You can Google it up. The masks you're wearing, the ones that are coming from China, are being made by slaves in China, Christian and Muslim slaves. When they arrive, what is that? What it says? A positive test result shows you may have antibodies from an infection with the virus that caused COVID-19. However, there is a chance of positive result. That means that you have antibodies. Antibodies from an infection from the cold. I also heard the medical profession, those that are not muzzled, some of their videos are being taken away, that said that if you were taking for the past 10 years the vaccination for a regular coronavirus, so regular flu, seasonal flu, you will every single time also test positive for the COVID-19. So thank you for that. But you know, there is a cause why they're doing this. There is a purpose why they're giving us mixed messages and contradictions. Because they want the people to be confused. They want the people to come to a place where they don't know what's going on. They're confused. They're getting mixed messages. Well, let's say you want to take the mask from China. Let's say you believe the propaganda and you don't care that the slave Christians and Muslims are making them by force. They're coming here defective. That's the mask you're wearing. Useless, defective, from China, probably with the COVID in them. They are coming here defective, below medical standards, and they are useless. And that's what the doctors are saying. Those masks are useless, and they are defective. They're not protecting you or anybody else. They're infecting you because you think you're immune. So why would you wear a mask that you know it came from the place that brought you the virus in the first place? It's beyond me. I don't get it. I don't understand why people have fallen so low if it comes to the gray cell. The gray cells must not be working very well in this country. Maybe too much Kentucky Fried Chicken or McDonald's, but obviously something is not working right if you are actually putting a Chinese mask on your face that is defective. I don't get it. So first they have given you the virus, then they will say they're trying to protect you from the very virus they introduced to you. So my friends, are you that naive? Seriously? Are you that naive that you don't really know what's going on? So why they're doing it? Why they're doing it? Why so much confusion, misinformation? I'll tell you why. Because a mask, historically speaking, I studied for many years symbols of slavery. Historically speaking, muzzle on a human face was always a sign of slavery and submission. When you look at the Chinese Communist Party, it's forcing Chinese people to wear a mask. And I'm sure you've noticed people from China coming here, even in Lake Louise or in Banff, wearing a mask. Because they have been conditioned for decades. And when their children are growing up, it's a natural thing for them to put that stupid thing on their face and do not question the government. The moment you question the government, you will end up in a concentration camp and you will be doing those masks. Okay? Also, why they are implementing this law now with very little teeth? Because they're following the script. Think about it. Everywhere around the world, it's happening the same thing. Have you noticed that nation after nation, continent after continent is following to the same thing, to the same agenda? You notice that? Because they're following the script. They are following the agenda. They have the script and they have to follow. Okay, we've done this, we've done that. Now it's time for the masking of the population. That's the next part of the script. Later on, there's going to be a second wave. But why? Why they don't care about businesses? I'll tell you why. Because in order to control the society, you have to eliminate middle class. In order to bring dictatorship, totalitarian government, you have to eliminate middle class. Small businesses, kill them, destroy them. Why? Because small businesses, people that own small businesses are usually well-traveled, well-educated, and they have some money. When the government takes them off, or a police officer gives them a wrong ticket, they can hire a lawyer and fight them. So you're gonna eliminate the middle class. That's why there is this global killing of small businesses, middle class people. Also, to control the population, you have to implement fear. How you implement fear in a free society? You're gonna give them a pandemic. You have to give them something that they totally will understand and will submit willfully to it. You cannot just come with guns and say, I'm taking your rights away. But if you come with a clever virus, when you come with a pandemic, then everyone will say, well, for the sake of my father, for the sake of my children, I'm going to submit to that. And that's exactly what is happening. It's also psychological warfare. Psychological warfare. CIA is being always trained this way. They're being trained to torture people, but they say in their books that psychological torment is more effective than a physical one. So if they can bring you to submission by fear, they have accomplished their goal. That's why you have the fines. That's why you got officers chasing you down. That's why you got health officers with enormous powers to tell, okay, I'm shutting down your business. It doesn't make any sense, but they have that power. It's a mental torture. That's what's happening right now in Canada. Mental, psychological warfare. If you don't wear that stupid mask on your face, you're going to die. And wear the one that comes from China that doesn't work. Wear that one. Probably is infected with the virus. And is being made by the Christians enslaved and the Muslims. Wear that one. Is effective. Effectively will give you the virus. Another thing is that people ignore, this is a preparation for what is coming. It's a preparation for what's coming. And what's coming? The global New World Order, the mark of the beast, the New World Government, new currency, no money, no paper money, no coins, everything electronically. When you get rid of cash, you can effectively control the population. That's why they're removing cash. Have you noticed? You can't go to store and give 20 bucks, which is a legal tender in this country. And it's against the law for them to reject that money. But they're doing it. Why? Because they're getting rid of paper money. Everything has to be electronically, because then they will be able to track you, what you buy, what you do, where are you going, etc. It's also conditioning the society for the New World Government. It's conditioning them, it's training them like monkeys. It's training the society like monkeys. Monkey, Mr. Monkey, wear a mask. Mr. Monkey, social distancing. Mr. Monkey, don't play in a playground. Mr. Monkey, jump higher, jump lower, do this, do that. It's simple manipulation by the use of fear. And they're using this right now. How do I know this stuff? Listen, Canadians, I grew up in a country like this. I come from communist dictatorship, and that's exactly what they were doing to us. Fear, manipulation, misinformation. It didn't make any sense, but you had to do it. Because if you didn't, you end up in jail, arrested and tortured by the authorities. It's a symbol of slavery, it's a symbol of submission, and that's the last implementation until the second wave. They want to do it. They want to say to you, now, apart from being just a social insurance number, you're also a slave. Put the mask on your face, submit, or else. You won't be able to buy, you won't be able to sell, you won't be able to go places unless you submit. After this one, a bigger force will come. Because all of this is just a prelude for what's coming. The music is playing. Are you hearing the music? The music is playing. Are you hearing the music? Masks do more damage than protection. In Spain, people have funguses in their throat, they have funguses in their mouth for wearing the masks. Within 30 minutes of wearing a mask, you already have mold in the mask. Think about it. And you're breathing this in and out, in and out, in and out, just because the government tells you so. Next thing is going to happen, they will tell you to murder Christians and you will gladly do it. They will tell you Jews are no people. They have no right whatsoever. Let's put them in Auschwitz-Birkenau. How the German people were conditioned? That's exactly how they were conditioned to what was coming. A full dictatorship by Adolf Hitler and the Nazi Party. First, they were enslaving the German people. The first concentration camps were not for the outsiders, were for the Germans. And later on we know the history, I hope you do, because we are repeating it. We are repeating the history. And the people are willfully submitting to it. I don't understand. I can't believe it. It's so crazy. For a Polish man to see that Canada and Canadians are doing the same mistakes like the German people and the Russians in Europe.
That's right.
They have been brainwashed for so long, they don't even know what's real and what's not. So my prayer is, God, open their eyes. Let them take that stupid thing from their faces, because it's hurting them. It's not helping them. Open their hearts so they can receive you. Then they will have no fear. Oh, touch their souls and their spirits, their minds, their hearts. Set them free, because they're terrified. My God says 365 times a year, fear not, for I am with you. Fear not. If you're a born-again believer, you have no fear. If you're a real deal, you have no fear. I have no fear of virus. I was sick before. I had flu before. And I survived the flu. Wow! Like billions of other people. And if it's my time to go, I go. Don't allow them to take your rights away because you're terrified of something you cannot see. Think for yourself. Use your gray cells, because there's coming a time when they will chop your foolish head off and the cells will not work anymore, even if you wanted to. So I bless you with that. Take it or leave it. It's up to you. Tomorrow, how tomorrow is going to look, it's up to you. Be smart. Be vigilant. Receive the living God. Live. Don't die. Be blessed.